Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Beatrice, Alabama 36425. How you doing today? God is awfully good. We hope everything is going well for you, no matter what your situation is, because God is absolutely good. God is good. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Beatrice, Alabama 36425. I'm your host, Freddie Howard. Like we said before, we hope everything is going well for you. Our special guest today, will be none other than Representative Thomas Jackson, and we hope that you will be a part of our broadcast for today. If you want to call in, the number is 1-251-362-1935. 1-251-362-1935. We're going to be giving Representative Jackson a call here in a minute as we get set up here in the studio. How are things going for you this morning? God is absolutely good. God is absolutely good. We got our theme song playing. This one here is called JF Shields. JF Shields. Called Stepping Up and Stepping Out. Stepping here, stepping down, long as you are stepping, you looking good to me. Step on up, step on back. It doesn't matter how you step, long as you are stepping and jumping all night. Move here, move there, stomp here, stomp your chest, stomp your feet, stepping up, stepping back, slide and slide here and there, long as you're stepping and stomping and running. Yeah. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. Step on up, step on out, long as you're stepping and jumping all night. Yeah, stepping left.
Hello?
Hey, good morning. Good morning.
Yeah. Stepping and jumping and stomping, clapping the hands over the head.
Hold on just a minute.
Behind the back, it doesn't matter.
Good morning, Representative Jackson. How are you doing this morning?
This morning.
Oh, you're doing okay this morning? Hold on just a minute. Okay, hold on just a minute. This old cell phone decided that it wants to do something else this morning. We're trying to get it all hooked up here so that we can hear you live on the air. Okay, 1 2. Okay, can you hear me now?
I hear you, yes. I hear you well.
Okay, all right. That's great. That's great. Good morning and welcome to Beatrice, Alabama, live 36425. Our special guest this morning is Representative Thomas C. Jackson, District number 68. I'm your host, Freddie C. Howard, at Good Morning Beatrice, Alabama. If you want to call in live, Representative Jackson, here's what I wanted to do so that I can get calls if people want to call in. Are you in front of your computer or are you on your cell phone now? That computer, that cell phone is. Let me try something different. One, two, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2. Hey, Thomas, and what I'm gonna do, I'm on. Can I call you back on the computer because the cell phone is playing games? It won't keep saying that I'm not compatible, and I've sure been on it for the last 5 or 6 years with the cell phone. That's just the devil. But anyway, let me call you back. Can I call you back on the computer?
My computer, I got to go.
Okay, all right, okay. Let's just go ahead and stay on the cell phone then. That's good enough for me.
Well, let me call me back on this other number.
Okay. At the house number, maybe. Okay. Okay.
36 number.
All right. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and let some music play while we get everything squared away. Start that back over for us.
Yes, yeah. Are you ready? Yes, yeah. Are you ready? For stepping and stepping out. Yes, yeah. Are you ready? For stepping up and stepping out. Step to the left, step to the right. It doesn't matter how you step, as long as you're ready to step all night. Step to the left, step to the right. It doesn't matter how you step, as long as you're ready to step all night. Step to the left, it doesn't matter how you step. Step as young as you are ready. Step all night. Clap your hands, stomp your feet, slap your chest, tap your feet. It doesn't matter, all you are looking so good to me. Boys and girls stepping left, boys and girls stepping right, boys and girls here and here, stepping and stepping, stomping and stepping, stepping all. Step to the left, step to the right.
Okay. All right. How you doing? We connected.
Well, how you?
Okay. All right. Let's get some of these things cut down some. Okay. Let's go back to our page. Okay.
Let's reintroduce and start all over again. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Beatrice, Alabama. Today is Saturday, August the 6th. Our special guest today is none other than Representative Thomas C. Jackson of District Number 68. I'm your host, Freddie C. Howard. The radio call-in number is 1-251-362-1935. And Representative Jackson is going to be with us for a minute or two, or how long he can. Welcome to the broadcast, Representative Jackson.
Good morning, Beatrice, and good morning to you. And thank you, Freddie, for giving us the invite. It's early in the morning, you know. Who's up this morning?
You and I.
Man, on a Saturday, you know, very few people is up this early. I don't guess unless they have to be up. I will be honest and tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I got out yesterday, did a little work, and put out a few signs. Started cutting the grass. I couldn't finish.
Oh man.
My allergies got cut, you know, just messed my head up. I had my mask on too, but just something about that grass after the heat and the humidity was out, and I just felt bad. Stopped up, but I'm better this morning, much better.
Mm-hmm.
I had an up and down night, but I'm grateful. It's always good to know that the Lord is available. You hear our cries and answer our prayers.
Mm-hmm. What time do you normally get started to go to Montgomery on your days that the House of Representatives in session there in Montgomery at the Capitol?
Well, what we usually do, we have a 3-day work week, and it's Tuesday through Thursday. I usually go up on Monday nights, because we go in we have meetings in every morning prior to session time. We go in on at noon on Tuesday, and then we go in 9-10 o'clock Wednesday and Thursday. So it's a session day, and you have your committee meetings all day Wednesday. And so this past session we were doing 3-day weeks. We had a 3-day section building 2 days. You have your meetings in the mornings, and you go in session at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and run till 9-10 o'clock at night.
Oh man, that's
See, that's when you're not holding the gavel. You have to abide by other people's rules.
Mm-hmm.
And the Republicans want to get so they can campaign. So they rushed through this past session. So 3-day work week is wearing us out.
Oh man. Well, look here.
And it's a toll. They bring a toll on you when you sit that the night.
Mm-hmm.
In between that, you have committee meetings, you have caucus meetings, and trying to strategize and do some stuff. But God brought us through that. It's stressful, but I asked for it, and I'm working hard to try to keep this seat in a Democratic caucus.
Mm-hmm.
There are 75 Republicans in the House, and only 28 Democrats.
Y'all outnumbered.
So,
You're outnumbered.
A super majority.
Mm-hmm.
And so they bring all these bills. That's divisiveness. The bills that have divided the state and nation. Obviously, the voters' suppression bills, and then the women choice bills. And, after the Roe v. Wade passed, Alabama has nowhere to give women a choice for health services as it relates to abortion care. Even if she's been raped or a child has by in incest, and we are in a battle right now. After this election coming up November, hopefully we pick up a few seats, maintain our seats at the Democratic caucus, and then we make a little more decision about what the future holds. But right now we're at the hands of the Lord, then at the mercy of those men that hold the gavel in Montgomery.
Mm-hmm. The election of the Alabama House of Representatives will take place November the 8th. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Uh,
that's the general election. They call it the off season, but it's not off. Every election is on time. It's just not a presidential election.
mm-hmm.
This year, that would be 24. But this is a very important election for the nation and for the state of Alabama as well. Almost how we have no Democrats statewide in office, and about nobody, no Secretary of State, no auditor, you know, it's just no Attorney General, nobody.
Mm-hmm.
But on this ballot, we do have a candidate running for governor, a female, black female running for governor, Miss Flowers, and this is the first, and you didn't heard anything about that. There's no news on that, and this
Mm-hmm.
is historical election here. And
Mm-hmm.
even though this is a super red state, but I want to applaud the tenacity of the young lady who got out there and campaigned hard and won the primary, and now she will be on the ticket for the general election for governor.
Now, here's another thing. In House District number 68, which you'll be running for, to be reelected, you have an opponent. Is this for the first time? Is this the second? Have you ever had an opponent before for District 68?
This is the first general election opponent. I've had primaries opponent before, all the Democrats, but I have a Republican in the general election.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an odd thing that this will happen because this is a Democrat seat. Uh, but the enemy doesn't care. He all he wants is more authority, more power.
Mm-hmm.
75 members is not enough. So they would like to have 100 members on the Republican ticket. But when you think about the Republicans, you think about what we're looking at now as Republicans, which is not really Republicans. They're Donald Trump people, and these people will do anything. They don't believe that we had a fair election in 2020. They don't believe that Mr. Biden is the legitimate president of the United States. They believe in all the conspiracy theories of election being stolen and taken away. And who has the authority to do that? And especially when you're in the minority on the side, when Democrats are out of charge of these offices, the
Mm-hmm.
Secretary of State offices. It is a Republican. It's amazing how they're going through all these court battles and got thrown out. Then they wanted to have an insurrection to take over the power of democracy, to destroy democracy and put autocracy in charge, dictatorship. So that's what we're fighting against. That's the Republicans we're looking at today. They're not the Ronald Reagan Republican or the Abraham Lincoln Republican Party, even the George Bush Republican Party. These people are extremists, and they'll do anything for power.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the mindset of who we are dealing with in this general election with this Republican opponent that I have obtained. And it's not easy. I was wondering, the people have been wondering as well. Tom, so why you got a Republican? This is a majority district. I said, well, when you're dealing with the enemy, they don't believe in following the rules. They believe in changing the rules and making rules as they go forward. And so that we have a battle on our hands, and our message is to continue to represent with integrity and dignity the entire district, not just a portion, not just a party, not just people, but just the entire district, because I represent people, and people are hurting all over this district. And if you look at what is some places that we have some water problems, sewage issues, and we want to make sure that we can get funding and grants availability for those persons that don't have water and sewage. Our broadband is a big issue, even right now, our education is being hindered because we don't have broadband in our areas of education. Healthcare is another big issue that we are pushing, and we need broadband for telemedicine, and not Wi-Fi just doesn't work. We need broadband, and that's what we've been fighting for in these last few years that we've been in session, trying to get these grants, trying to get approval for it. And then after COVID, the release funding for these areas who were without, and that's our main issue, to make sure that every student in this state has the same opportunity and the same right to education as those in the affluent community.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And so we believe in that. We believe in having the accessibility to health care. Alabama is one of the states that did not expand on Medicaid and could have, but wouldn't, because it came through a Democratic president, Mr. Obama. He tried to expand it to all the people who have health care in all areas of life. But Alabama took the art money, the money that was set down from the federal government during the pandemic, to invest in prisons instead of investing in medical facilities for rural health or even for education. So they put $400 million of hot money into building 4 new prisons. So Alabama gonna be at 4 super prisons, 4,000 bed prisons, and for what purpose when we could invest in young people and they want to be going to prison? They'll be educated. They wouldn't have a need to go out and commit crime. But see, we want to oppress. We talk about right to life. That's what we talk about. We're pro life, but we're not pro life because we don't believe in that. We is pro birth. We want to bring them into the world and cut all the programs that are gonna make them a functional environment adult, because we take away all those programs in the heart of growing up, the accessibility to food and funding, healthcare, and all that as a child. So when they do become a person of interest, they've committed a crime. They didn't get the proper education, so they did something illegally, and then if you put them, they do a crime of capital murder, then they're on death row. Then you're gonna execute them. So we're not pro life. I tried to get a resolution done to do a moratorium on the death. No avail to that. Can't get anybody on the other side of the aisle to support that type. But you're pro life.
Let's talk about. Hold on just a minute. I got a double sound here. I need to close that. Let's see here. All right. Okay. Let's go back just for a minute. Let's talk about just for a minute the situations like committees that you serve on. Talk about the different committees that you serve on, where you are a ranking leader or a head on different committees that you serve in the Alabama legislature.
Well, last 2 decades, I was the last two quadrennials I've been on public safety. It's the ranking minority, Homeland Security, public safety, and that deals with everything that comes from law enforcement. Homeland Security deals with protecting and serving the community through volunteer fire departments come under that, our firefighters, our first responders. And I'm ranking minority, even gun safety, sheriffs, police departments, and the bill, the no permit bill that we just passed, saying that a young person can buy a gun and don't have to have a permit to carry. Anyone can have a gun with no permit to carry, and I thought it would be a danger to our law enforcement officers if they are stopped in a traffic, then a person has a criminal has a gun. He gonna use it as a criminal, and they can't question it. Do you have a permit to carry this gun? They, if you have a gun and they see it, they can't ask that question anymore. So how do we keep up with these guns that are coming in from other places that are illegal in this state? So I said it was a license to kill. It's taking away the protection that our law enforcement only had to protect themselves from criminals. But
Mm-hmm.
they said, but these people believe that a good guy with a gun is better than a bad guy with a gun. And you saw it happen out in Uvalde, Texas. You had all those good guys with guns, and one bad guy with a gun, and how many people died. So they use a theory that doesn't work. They want to put fear in people that Democrats are trying to take away their Second Amendment rights. That means the right to bear arms. And that's not what we're all about. We just want to have some protection, some safety, and that make sure that people that don't need to have a gun, people that
Mm-hmm.
have mental conditions, people that have committed crimes prior to, that they have a background check, and you can hold off before you issue a weapon to those people. But they don't want this to happen. So this is where we are, and I'm a rank minority member on that. And I fought, and I stood with law enforcement, and I'm going to continue to stand with law enforcement when it comes to that. Uh, I am on another committee. I am on is agriculture, and I live in this district is agriculture. We talk about forestry. The people are harvesting timber. And we're talking about cotton, soybeans, peanuts. We have farmers in this district, and I have always stood up for farmers. Hey, look at I was 12 years ago when the Democrats was in the authority. I was the chairman of the Agriculture, Forestry, and Resource Committee. So we traveled all over the state, and I complained about the issues that was taking place in North Alabama at the time, and Huntsville. Went up, and the cornfields was on fire. It burned, and the big Tennessee River was there. And
Mm-hmm.
my question was why we can't use irrigation
Mm-hmm.
to save our farmers from having to go through this destruction of drought when this big river here. So it was a federal regulation of the Tennessee River, and so Alabama has moved in that direction. Now we can use that for irrigation to keep our farms and our forestry abroad. So I'm grateful for the service that I give. And,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not an easy task when you're looking across the table, and it's not two, three people that look like yourself in the whole room. So, but you have to stand and think about who you represent and the people that have no voice, that you're speaking for them as well.
Okay. Over the years that you have been in the Alabama state legislature, you have sponsored numerous bills. I'm just going to name off a few of them, and any one of them that you believe has made a tremendous impact. And I think every one that you sponsored made an impact, whether or not it passed, whether or not it got a hearing, whatever. But they are important issues to the folks in the state of Alabama, and especially for the large district in which you are representative of. I'm just going to name a few of them, and you talk about whatever ones that you think that come to mind that really impacted the folks of the state of Alabama. Alabama House Bill HJR 174, House Bill 269, House Bill 216, uh, House
When you
Bill
hold on, when you said 216, would you give the say,
Marriage and Family Therapy Board.
okay? Now that was a bill that we just passed this past session, which was what it does, it gives insight into counseling, and for a person that's in therapy, they can just kind of like a CPRN, a nurse, certified practitioner nurse. so we can have that same advantage for marriage and family therapy. So they wanted that. The board wanted this. So it would free up some of those counselors, so they get get some additional help in there in those professions. So we got that bill passed, and the governor signed signature. So I'm very proud of that. This past session, okay, that was 216. So go ahead with the next one.
Okay. House Bill HR 61. Let's go ahead. That was the House Bill 61. That was dealing with Dr. C.L. Hodges Activity Center. Then.
Oh yeah, that was a resolution we did for Pastor Holt
Okay.
here in Thomasville, New Greater First Baptist Church. So it was a resolution that we honored him for that his activity center that has been placed in addition to the church, and that's what that was, a resolution. It wasn't the bill; it was a resolution. Okay, HDR House Joint Resolution signed by the governor. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Now, HB 218, election early voting, authorized voting. I just from reading this one, I think that, from my perspective as a voter, and the situation that happening with the trend of voter depression tactics, and let me say this, I think, so far as voter depression, the only person can depress the vote. I don't care what kind of laws, what they put in place, what they do, all those things has an effect and around people's mindset about voting. But the only person can depress the vote is the person themselves. Can't nobody stop you from voting. You got to buy into this stuff that they put out. But anyway, talk about early voting. That's House Bill 218.
Yeah, afraid of that bill. I tried to pass it. It's been 8 years running now, trying to get that bill out of committee. It's set aside 4 to 6 days prior to any election, and all don't have to happen at the same time. Any county clerk can open up the office for early voting.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not a partisan bill. It's bipartisan. I got no Republicans to co-sponsor, but I had the League of Women Voters to come up and support this. The Alabama League of Women Voters, and that's a big organization, and they're more white women than any other color that I saw. The president is a white female, right
Yeah,
there
out
from
of
Montgomery,
Huntsville.
Alabama. Well, she's from Montgomery. She was, and the
Yeah.
one that came to sit with us and spoke with us about that. And well, the Secretary of State's office, the Secretary of State was the one that was holding it up, and still holding it up. It gives the people of this state. You don't have to stand in line. You can go vote early, 4 to 6 days prior to the election. And for the elderly people, it would have been a great thing. And I mean, it's like I said, it wasn't Democrats or Republicans. Everybody that wanted to vote early could vote early, and that's what the people wanted. But to no avail, that bill that never get a hearing in the community. So it's a dead deal. And in the last 8 years, they could get a hearing. Even they had a press conference with the NAACP and other organizations throughout the state, and we just couldn't get the chairman to move it because Secretary of State didn't want it.
And guess what? We had an opportunity this past year to meet, do meetings, public meetings here on the Alabama, at the Courthouse Square here in Monroe with the League of Women Voters, with the president out of League of Women Voters in Huntsville and the League of Women Voters for Alabama out of Montgomery. That came down and spent 2 sessions with us, with high school students, with this, my daughter at the principal at Monroe County High and some of her students. And we stood out there and we talked to people and interviewed people about voting. And we hope we made some inroads into voter awareness and people getting registered to vote. But the League of Women Voters, I work with them personally, and We are in the process of now dealing with Ms. Stinson, the probate judge, to do a mock election.
Okay.
And we've got it on the table, but the logistics of it and getting ballots printed and all that kind of stuff is not difficult, but it's time consuming. But hopefully we'll be able to pull it off at two of the schools, Monroe County High School, J.F. Shields, and possibly some of the other schools. Okay, let's talk about House Bill number 217, absentee voting authorized. Talk a little bit about it. How so much success did you have with that one?
Well, no success in that. What that bill was to eliminate the excuse that you have to tell a lie to be out of town, you to vote absentee. See, what we were doing, we were trying to make it. We try to make it accessible as possible. Why do I have to give you a reason why I'm not going? I didn't want to vote absentee. Do I tell you why? Do I have to tell you that? And see, what people do, they just tell a lie. They will lie about it. And so I just have to eliminate that excuse. You know, say, oh, I want to vote absentee. Go vote absentee. You don't have to go to the poll and stand in line that day. Just vote absentee. And we didn't have early voting, so that would eliminate. Now, absentee, you got to have a reason for going to be sick or going to be out of town or somewhere else, off from work or something of that nature. So just eliminate the excuse and let me vote absentee. If I want to vote absentee, I don't have to stand in line. That's what that bill was all. That's all it was going to do, and it was supported by the same folks and can get a hearing on it.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing partisan about this.
Yeah.
You listen to people are talking to you about this stuff, and that's why you could get these bills done. They're not sitting down and create it. I'm talking to my constituents. Let's talk to them. Won't you just try to get a bill so those old folks don't have to stand in line all day? And then I want to tell that story about I'm being my granddaughter's house or people, grandchildren. One can't get to the polls, so I can't vote absentee. So this is what that was all about.
Taxation sales. This is HB House Bill number 283. Taxation, sales, and use of taxes for county and municipal schools, different things like that. How successful were you with House Bill 283?
When it comes to, I'm just gonna be honest and tell the truth. Then too many Democrats get bill passed.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a bad issue.
That's because of the solid majority of the GOP. Go ahead. Super majority, yeah.
And see, and the few bills that did let through, you know, they was pretty imminent bills that was going to help everybody. All our bills do. We don't do a bill for 2 or 3 people like some of them do. They have a friend that something happened to, and they want to collect, and they find a way that they can do that. So we are fighting for people. I'm kind of, you know, when I think the question was asked in my mind, why am I a Democrat? And see, and I'm a Democrat because I believe in the principle of love. And the principle of love is to love the Lord thy God with all our heart, mind, soul, and strength, and to love our neighbor as you love yourself. And see, and that's that's why I'm a Democrat, because I love my neighbor as I love myself. And the question is asked, who is your neighbor? And then, and it's not the one lived on the street, down the corner, around the corner. Your neighbor is worldwide. You know, people in need. And Jesus gave the parable of the Jericho Road incident. You know, and so I don't want to get into the message of that, but this is what people understand, that we sponsor bills because there's a need, and there's a greater need than for more people than for a few people. So if I can't help the masses, I'm not going to do to help 2 or 3 people. And it is never nothing in this thing for me. Like, here's what I mean. I don't sponsor legislation for me. I sponsor legislation for the people who sent me to represent them. first and foremost, I'm a spokesman for the Lord, and I'm a representative of the people. And so that's when I think about legislation, I always think about how would I want someone to represent me, and I represent them in that manner.
The thing about serving the people of this great state of Alabama, um, I don't think I believe a lot of people do understand it, such as you and I and others that are following politics and what's taking place. Talk just about a minute or however time you want to talk about the mindset of the majority of Alabamans. I'm talking about our people who don't vote, who don't take interest in it, and they talk about somebody else gonna take care of it and that God gonna take care of it. But they fail to understand that God works through human beings. He don't need you, but he works through fellow human beings. Talk about the mindset of Alabamians, especially our black folks.
That's been the issue for many years. My vote don't count. Where that come from? That come from the opposition. That come from the enemy. And if I tell my young people, if your vote didn't count, why you think they're trying to suppress it? Why you think they're trying to take it away if it didn't count? So evidently it count. It matters. The problem is that you don't believe that it matters, and that's why you bought into that thing that it doesn't count, and that's why you have an apathy about it. But I want to say to those listeners who have withdrawn themselves from elections, who thinking that somebody gonna fix your problem for you, and you don't participate in the situation. That's a false narrative. You're being hoodwinked and bamboozled. You're being lied to. And you sound like you've been you're in a cult that think that your leader is speaking for you, gonna take care of you. It doesn't work like that. See, democracy is a form of representation. That means that you participate. You're not a spectator. You're a participant. You're involved in the process. You elect those people who listen to you and who are favorable toward doing the things that you want done. Otherwise, nothing will get done. And that's why we have a representative form of government. That's why it's so important that we maintain this form of government, because we don't want authoritarian form of government where people dictate to us what we can and what we cannot do. See what is taking place from the Supreme Court. They're taking away the constitutional right of women's choice. And if they can take that away, the next thing will be your voters' rights. The next right they will take away your right to petition the government. The next right they will take away is separate but equal. Plessy versus Ferguson. And all these things are in jeopardy when you got the wrong people in charge, and the wrong people be in charge because we fail to get involved in the process. We let somebody else choose for us rather than us choosing for ourselves. So I want to say to the people today that who have voter apathy, and you don't think that your vote count, just look around you, see how many people that are in elected positions that look like you. That means that somebody believe that their vote count. Otherwise, nobody would be there that looks like you. So let's get away from that myth, and don't believe in the conspiracy theory. Your vote count, and if it didn't count, they wouldn't be trying to take it away from you. So get involved, register, and vote every time there's an election. That's how it's important. See, if one person won a seat by one vote at this past election, one vote, a senator won an election by one vote.
Mm-hmm.
Every vote counts.
Mm-hmm. You know what, Representative Jackson? I have been listening to people talk in regards to voting, but your reason that you just gave, I listened to that and it was profound in my understanding of what's taking place. That message needs to be a political banner message. Why is it that you do not see black folks in Alabama? Why is it you do not see people with your skin color more in leadership and political positions in the state of Alabama. Why is that? And guess what the reason is? Because you don't take interest in it. You don't think it's important. If you did, there would be more people, even though the majority of people in Alabama is our white brothers and sisters. There would be a tremendous turnaround if you people in Alabama, and in fact all over America, take an interest in it. Why is it so many few of you in power? Because you're not paying attention to it. And the reason why the others are in power, because they are. They know where the power is.
It's at the ballot. It's at the box.
It's in, yeah.
And let me say this: there's a precinct right in Clark County. It's not in my district, not in my precinct, not in my ballot, but 500 registered voters. They don't know how many came out, filled up in the primary. So what we are trying to do is rally those young people that didn't show up. And it's going to affect everybody. It's going to affect everybody if they don't come out. And see, it's just that's just one precinct that's in the district. Now, that's the news from a person that lives in the community, that works at the poll. Now, I didn't get the information from other people that lives in other parts of the district. Now, if they happen in one precinct, believe me, it happened in more than it happened throughout. I remember when we voted that day at 115, we were probably 111, 117. Now, over half of the day is gone. I had about 100 people, 116 people had voted before me at my precinct, and that precinct has 2,400 voters in that box, and only 117 had voted at one something that day. I'm concerned about that. Yes, I'm very concerned about that.
Representative Jackson, yes. We really need. What do we do in this legislative session coming up? God willing, you get back in there. I would like to be part of a team of Alabama people, which could be headed up by the League of Women Voters, focusing on districts all over the state of Alabama that have practically zero turnout for black voters, and begin to send teams into them districts and begin to teach people, make them aware. Are you kidding? You got, just for instance, like your district right there.
Yeah.
20-some hundred voters and 100 and what?
100. I was number 117.
117.
And that was after 1:30 in the afternoon. Let me say this: what we really need to do is we need to rally. We got the people on the ground to do this. You have your NAACP, and they're not functioning like they used to function. And this is what they did. They educated people about voting. The ADC educated people. See, they just didn't wait till election time and show up.
You need to be doing it year round.
See, they had something going on. They were educated young people. They had things that would involve the young people that would get them educated and interested. But now we think people is gonna come to us. It ain't gonna. Ain't nobody gonna come to you. Ain't nobody. So we're supposed to be servants. That means that you're reaching out to do something to make a difference, not sitting there waiting for somebody to come serve you. And so that's what I told one of my friends. Man, we got this thing back. People ain't gonna come to us. We gotta go to them. Mm-hmm. We gotta have to entice them, to show them that their vote is worth it. You know, when we gonna sit up here and exclude them because they got a tattoo on their neck? I mean, see how we judge folks. These people are able and willing to do something, but we won't involve them because they look different. They dress different. Yeah. They act different. Mm-hmm. So that's why we losing.
Well, let me tell you this. I've had people approach me recently about heading up a there is no NAACP chapter here in Monroe County. Mr. H.B. Williams is the last one, and he's been ill of lately and is homebound about a chapter of the NAACP. I would very much like to head up a chapter of the NAACP in Monroe County. And one of the things, as we are sitting here talking, I'm thinking about bringing in the NAACP, ADC, the League of Women Voters, and other New South Coalition.
If you have a New South over there, but see, who you need to talk to is the pen lady. Her son was the last president of the NAACP, so they need to be.
Oh yeah, Miss
Rosin. Yeah. You
okay.
know, and he had. I spoke at that. Then it was Mr. Marshall was the last president, I think.
Greg, Willie Frank.
Willie Frank Marshall, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I hadn't seen that, but see, I told Greg he needs to get involved in that, you know, because that's all his uncle was the man. And Greg, you want to do something? This is where you need to step up.
Yeah, I met with him and talked about several days ago about the same issue. But I very much like to. I'm going to make some steps here in Monroe County to make sure a chapter gets started. I'll reach out to Miss Penn's son and see where he's at. But I was approached about it. I told him, I said, I'm not a no go along to get along person. Now I'm a stirrer, and I don't do a whole lot of stuff. But when I get in something, I'm not sugarcoating anything. I'm not dancing with nobody. I'm gonna do what's right.
Well, you have to call out what's wrong.
It.
And that's what done happened to the leadership. See,
well,
I'm afraid to make that call. And I told him, I said, you're not gonna be popular when you're a real leader. You're gonna pick up and you're gonna lose a minute. But when the few you pick up be the ones that the Lord gonna give you, and they're gonna be stale. You know, they'll stay there with you. And God, and it's like David, he'll be with you. So like it was with three Hebrew boys and the fire and Daniel and the lions den. But you gotta know him first. You just don't jump out here and think things gonna happen. You gotta consult the Lord before you do anything when it comes to leadership. See, God give us the direction. He show us, and we follow His lead. We can't go wrong.
Well, look here. I know that we're on the air. I make a commitment to you that instead of all these different organizations that I call out that has an eye about the vote in the state of Alabama, especially for Black people, that we focus on those particular organizations and we target specifically areas in the state of Alabama that have low voter turnout. I mean, year after year, election after election, our other white brothers and sisters vote tremendous numbers over, and yet and see here we are down at, say for instance, like you said, your district, 100 and something vote at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Perhaps it was at work, maybe picked up, but when these organizations like ADC, New South, League of Women Voters, NAACP, when they go out, they go specifically to those targeted areas that you know as zero to no turnout. Don't be just blanket in the whole place. Go where you are needed.
That's exactly right. And those people in the local area know those folks. They know them.
That means getting to know the people that work at the polls.
That's right. You have to work with those local folks.
Well, look here. Let's just between you and I know this public and it's going out and folks gonna hear it later on in different places because I'm on 5 platforms now. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn. Well, it's all over wherever you want to listen to it. Whoever want to listen to it, and it's out there in the public. But I don't see nothing wrong with it. But have a battle plan.
You got to have one. Otherwise, you're gonna go out and defeat yourself.
Yeah.
You don't have a specific plan and strategy.
Well, then look.
And you got to localize those strategies. You got to prioritize each movement so you know what you're getting some positive feedback from them. See, since they're registering 100,000 people to vote and only 15,000 show up to vote.
Woo! What you say?
It doesn't make sense. Why would you register 100,000 people and don't get them to the poll?
Yeah.
See, the accessibility of getting them there, helping them to understand. See, registration is one thing, but participation is the whole thing here. When you participate in democracy, see, democracy is a participant sport. It ain't no spectator sport. You got to participate.
No, that's
a lot of people register, but they ain't participating. They ain't voting. They ain't showing up to vote. And that's what we got to keep orders of that vote. It can make a difference in your community. It can help with funding coming from the federal government.
Mm-hmm.
It's all a matter of you going to the poll, exercising your right before it's taken away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. In this upcoming election, I'm gonna go to the Monroe County, Alabama Martin Luther King celebration committee. I'm the chairman of that committee and been the head of that organization for a number of years. And I'm gonna make it my business, Representative Jackson, this coming year to focus on that issue in Monroe County, of the districts in Monroe County, voting places that has low black voter turnout, to increase that. I'm gonna go to the targets. God willing.
Well, we have to do it. We need to get it done. Where you can, the next election is November 1st, so you just think about November 8th at least.
Right.
We need to get some ground troops. Get spinning your wheels. Get some movement before the end, because Monroe County is a major player in District 68.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
it used to be a minor player, but now she's a major player because she District 68 covers the entire county.
Mm-hmm. Now let's talk about. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It used to be just the northern part of the county, Beatrice and Monroe. But now it's the entire going down to XL, Frisco City, all those places where most of the people. But when you go to XL, think about J.U. Blackshear and all those little communities there, schools there. I remember when I was coaching at Caulfield, used to play there, football and stuff. But now they probably junior high schools now, I guess, middle school now. But, those areas should be, there's a lot of black people live back in those parts of the state, of the county, so they need to be involved as well.
For this upcoming,
you was about to say something.
I was about to say was that for this upcoming election, I want you give us some information on that highway that they are over on the north, on the west side of Alabama, that highway that they are in the process of expanding now. Give us an update on that, where that is right now, and what's taking place with that.
Well, this Highway 43, 4-lane to Tuscaloosa, from Thomasville north, it's on a 5-year plan. Acquisition of land is being made. Most people have sold their property for that purpose. There's a little issue that's going up further north, Dixon's Mills, the Moore family, but they're gonna work it out, and they're getting fair market value for their property. That's one thing I make sure. So and if you have to go above the fair value of the market value, they have to let them. This is property that people been holding on to for a lifetime. And black people have property taken from them before. So let them know that this is not a gimmick, that this is reality, and it's in public domain, and they can do what they want to do. The government can, but they can give you the value of your property and go ahead and go forward, because the process is involved. And so we got to understand that. But if you give them the value and you go to the market value, especially, I think about 24, a good 4-lane, 2 lanes are going to be going through, but you got additional 5 feet of property going down the opposite way from both sides of the border. So it's going to work out. And when you get up to Linden, it goes up 69 rather than 43. 43 is on the next level after this, but this is the 5-year plan. and the second phase would be 43 all the way into Tuscaloosa. So they're doing both ways. They're looking at two different ways, and we're looking at now, Mr. Howard, with 71 miles on 5 coming out of come from 65, 59, 5, 59 coming down through Centerville coming and to Pine Hill and on back to Thomasville. So that's another process now. What we had on the table before was 84 4-laning from Evergreen to Monroe, and that's been stopped by several governors. So we're trying to put that back in the conversation. So from Interstate 65 to Monroeville and forward westward. But these are projects that's going to open up this area and we north, south, east, and west. So we're knowing that we got this opportunity, so let us take advantage of it. While we have the governors in place and the personnel, because the next governor could come through and stop the whole process, like that happened before with that 4-laning from Evergreen to Monroe.
Now, see that right there. I do not know no place, no state in this union that do not need an east-west, north-south corridor that runs the entire length of the state. That's an economic advantage.
That's it. You build it, people gonna put out. They gonna put it out there. They gonna bring renters. They'll come. And so yeah, we had some issues with the government took that funding and put it down on the Gulf. We don't understand that, but rural Alabama has always suffered. So we got to continue to push for rural Alabama to have the same opportunities as these urban areas. Now, this I-10 corridor, which is going across the Mobile Gulf Bay, is very necessary, and it's a private partnership, public-private partnership. So that's what it's going to probably take for some of these roads that we're to pay our way through this, until they are paid. Put them on so many years. You pay so much toll for so many years, and it's paid for. But until then, we've been waiting on federal funding, and then the state put its part in it, and so now we got the okay with this 43 corridor. So we're going one thing at a time. So we're trying to do it. It took forever, like 35 years to get this stuff done, man. It's a process.
One other question. This upcoming election, you have an opponent. I have not seen a sign, anything anywhere, other than through on the ballot media, where your information is. Ballotpedia, giving the opponent. That's Fred Kelly, that is a resident here in Monroe County, as your opponent. But what are the number one issues? Well, you got a lot of issues for your large district. Tell us about the size of your district and how much area you cover. That is a large district, because I've been out putting out signs. Man, you got a district.
Look here, you had been to. You had been in the Monroe County part.
Yeah.
You ain't been. See, Connecticut County. That's Interstate 65.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes to Monroe, Clark, Marengo, Wilcox, and Perry. So there's 6 counties from Interstate 65 all the way over to Highway 80.
Mm-hmm. Is it possible? Let me cut you. Is it possible for the other guys that doing the same thing that I do, that's working for you, for us to some kind of have a Zoom meeting or something, so we can begin to step up as you get closer to the November? Because I haven't seen anything for that opponent yet, and you can bet you he's gonna be coming.
Yeah, he's coming. I got a mail the other day in the mail. So you didn't check your mailbox. You probably got one. Look, see, this way the party operates. This is the Republican Party behind this, and they're cunning, they're crafty, and they're very subtle. They'll make you think there's nothing that happened. Then
But something is, yeah,
they're gonna blow up right quick. So I will. I'm working with the young man over. I'm waiting on the commissioner to give me a call back today for Connecticut County about the signs and stuff. So I've been doing the Clark County thing myself, and the Wilcox and Perry. When I would go into those areas, I would go drop some signs out, and I've noticed that somebody taking them up already. But that's all right. We'll be going back in that area. But I put up three big signs yesterday, and one is at a business place here in town, and the other one is at the yard of a friend on Highway 5. Then I went all the way up to Pine Hill at the intersection of Highway 10 and 5, and so put one there. So we got a lot of work to do, and we will. And when I get those persons, I will put them in contact with you so you all can coordinate. I got a few hundred signs that we're gonna, but we're not gonna put them all out right now because we're gonna need some for
Yeah.
our. So, but we'll be doing that, and I'll be in contact with you once I get information from the young man.
Okay, I got a Zoom set up on my radio system. It's just a matter of using it. It's already paid for. I just have to use it. But I'm going to go out today and go back over and backtrack where I've been. I went some places that I hadn't been to since I was a high school kid and working with my dad, writing insurance as a teenager. I went in some of them places that's in part of Monroe County.
Wow.
I went down there on where them deans live down on that road, and on that road coming into Uri.
Yeah.
I went all the way out there where that four-way stop is out there, and I put two of them signs, one on each one of them corners at each one of them stop signs. I ain't been out there since I was a teenager. But I'm gonna go out today and backtrack over where I've already been and make sure ain't nothing been took down, especially where I put up the big signs. Big signs coming into Monroe County, and a big sign on Highway 84 across from that Dollar General store there. But,
that's a good place. Yeah, that's a nice place.
But talk about from your perspective. There's, like I say, a lot of things are important. What's important from your perspective as somebody that's wanting to be continuing in the office representing District 68? What's important for the entire districts that you serve?
Well, the entire district's rural, and as you know, it's a farm district, and we have farmers, and we have paper mills, we have children, education is important. We have community colleges. We need to make sure that our children are prepared for these jobs that will be coming into these areas, these technology jobs, into these industries, because they're going to be retooling. We will make sure our community colleges are available to educate our children. Our high schools are preparing them for that. In some areas, in Weldon and I think in maybe masonry and electrician, I think computer, career tech, there's dual enrollment. The young person can be begins high school, 10th grade, 11th grade, and be in college all at the same time. And so they call it dual enrollment. And when they finish, they've gotten a certificate, 2 years of education when they finish high school. They already have their certificate of college. They can be job placement, or they can continue their education going on into further in a 4-year institution. But healthcare is one of the main issues that troubles our rural areas. Accessible ability to health care facilities. Our rural hospitals are suffering, barely being inoperable because of funding. So we want to make sure that these things are more available to our elderly and to our younger citizens. That having accessibility to healthcare is one between it's life and death. How fast you get there, having doctors on boards when you get to these emergency rooms, that knowing how to deal with your issue. So that is important to us, and then protecting our young people from violence, so school safety, and that's another issue. And I think our police and sheriff departments, we have school resource officers in our schools. How many we need, it's up to them. I don't know the population of our schools, all of them, but we know that we just can't just sit idly by. I'm thinking about over there in Lower Peachtree, Packers Bend. There's a school there. I don't know if there's a resource officer there or not. See, we need all these things need to be addressed. Our children, we must protect them 24/7 if necessary. And so these and having health care and accessibility for education is the next big issue that we've been fighting. Our seniors, making sure that they're taken care of, because they pave the way. The wheel on their shoulders, and we need not throw them out with the bathwater. Make sure that their programs are available for them. And we are definitely with our RSVP, seniors volunteer program, which goes out and to these seniors areas and have little meals. They eat lunch. They do entertainment. They play games. They have their mobility, the exercise, have a physical therapy, take them through this. And these things happen on weekly basis. And I'm just so excited for them and as we move forward, because I am one of them now. I've had a seventh day, and I'm looking forward when I can retire from this legislature. I'm excited about this run, and I'm just asking the people to continue to think about what we've done over the past 28 years. That I represented this district with integrity, with honesty and dignity, and I represented not just a pressure, a power of people, but the entire district. And I'm going to continue to speak truth to power, to raise their voice in the Alabama legislature, to feel the need of them that need it the most. And that's why I'm running for re-election for this district.
Okay, you heard it there. Farming, community college, timber industries, um, healthcare, infrastructure, the internet, all of the important issues that day-to-day activities for rural Alabama are on the ballot. And Representative Thomas Jackson will go to the bat for you. Now, you want to get in touch with Representative Jackson on how you can help or what you can do to make sure these things take place and you are involved in them. You got to get off the sideline. It's important to you. It's not going to happen unless you put your hands in it. Now, I want to ask you this. In the timber industry, which is them log trucks are running. I mean, these log
Yeah.
trucks, woo!
Well, see now, the price is up on them now, so they can keep they right here. We got two mills right here in Thomasville. Traffic is picked up on 43. Wow, yeah, they put up a second traffic light. We got two mills down on the south end of town. But let me say this: democracy is on the ballot too. So think about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so when you think about timber, I don't know what the price of footage of timber, but I know that people are selling. I think the prices is up because they're selling, and these mills are stocking up, so they can keep that lumber on. I mean, there are trees on the water, and they'll be just as fresh as when they pull them out to make lumber out of them. So that's the important thing. And I think that's why we are seeing so much movement in these trucks, because the price of timber has increased. Beef prices are up. The people can't even sell the beef. Can't feed them. They got to sell them because of drought in some places. But inflation is got all of us. But I want to say to the people, if you just stay the course, stay faithful, and stay focused, God gonna work. You're gonna see prices coming down. So it's gonna take a while, but see, we didn't get here overnight. It's gonna take a few days. You see prices of gasoline already dropped. It's below $3. $4 now, 3.84, and it's gonna come on down. But just be patient and be prioritizing how you spend your money. Just I mean, the economy is doing real well. So we're just in inflation. We're not in depression. So we're just grateful to God for allowing that. And then the movement that is taking place in Washington is gonna help us on the climate and all that. So it's just gonna be brother things happening. We just be patient and take a deep breath and thank God that we're still here. Protect yourself from these viruses because hey, none of us get inoculated, and a lot of people still dealing with this pandemic. It's not over. It's been curtailed, but now the uptick is coming back, and now the monkeypox. There's another thing that is out there, so you got to get double protect yourself. So make sure that when you go into buildings, where there are more than 2 or 3 people, cover your mouth, your face and nose, and when you're outside, you can take your mask off for a little while, but don't jeopardize yourself in that nature. And then school's starting back too. That's what really troubling me about our educators and our children. And I think that the rules are, I guess, if you feel safe with it, you can carry it on, but it's not mandated. So have a habit of protecting yourself. Don't have to let somebody else tell you how to protect you. You protect yourself.
Okay, to close it out, give them the information about how they can contact you if they want to support you, whatever. But anyway,
Well, I am my email address. I don't have my website is not up yet. It's still in the process of being built. J Thomas E 68 at gmail.com. I have a cell number 334-636-7446. My office number 334-564-7080.
okay.
So those are the ways that I can be contacted, and I look forward to hearing from some people. And if you call, leave a message so I can return your call.
Okay.
Otherwise, I won't know it's you.
Okay. All right.
Because we get a lot of these crazy people calling, and you don't know who they are. Telemarketers. And so if you don't leave a message, I can't return your call. But leave me a message, and I will return your call.
Okay. On behalf of all of us here at Howcee Production Gospel, we're located at 231 6th Avenue here in Beatrice, Alabama, 36425. Our telephone number is 1-251-362-1935. Our home number is 1-251-789-2424. And our email is freddiechoward@gmail.com. If you want to contact us while we're on the air, you can call 1-251-362-1935. We want to thank Representative Thomas Jackson for taking the time out from 5:30 this morning to it's about 10 minutes to 7 now that we've been at it. And I thank you, sir, for the work that you do. I look forward to working with you. And it's not about luck. It's about preparation and preparing.
That's what it's all about. Yes, and trust and faith.
That's it.
And let me say this in my closing: Happy Sabbath to all my Sabbath keeping brothers and sisters out there. God bless.
All right. Again, we're going to close it out with a song, Representative Jackson. This song that you're going to be hearing right now is a song that I wrote 10 or 12 years ago. It's called Stepping Up and Stepping Out. And it was written specifically for J.F. Shields High School and the sports program, its athletes and its cheerleaders and all the people there at J.F. Shields about being a small school of about 200 to 300 students and getting smaller and smaller because there are no apartments here in Beatrice. There's no housing development where people can come in and live. And most of the people are leaving, going to Monroe, Evergreen, different places that has housing. And that's one of the problems that Beatrice suffers from, lack of housing. That's why That's why our children enrollment at school is going down and down and down. Folks not coming here to live because all the
Well,
interest
see,
is
that's right.
16 to 17 miles away, and it ain't too far to drive 35, 40 miles a day for a job. But you got to have some place to live here in Beatrice.
Yeah.
That's why the enrollment at the school is going down.
That's why you have to have private investments that
Exactly.
the city and private individuals to set up a housing development authority that can be federal, low income or whatever, but they can work if you got the process moving forward.
Well, look here, that's another thing. I know we talk about another thing, but that issue right there, that's at the heart of what I'm here about here in Beatrice. If you are successful, and I have no doubt I believe you will be successful, perhaps we can set up an economic, something like a summit here in Beatrice, and invite folks, black, white, I don't care if you got a business, you be here. What do you want to do about the infrastructure, your growth for your community? What do you want to do about it? You want to just let people continue to migrate away from you, or do you want people coming to you? If you scared of folks coming to you, you're a problem. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that's another subject. There's so many things that we could cover to deal with. But again, thank you, and I'll be listening to you tomorrow night at on the gospel program there, the Old Ship of Zion. That's a powerful ministry, y'all. Y'all want to hear a good ministry of man bringing you the word from the cloth like John the Baptist. Representative Jackson is that man. I love it.
You're comparing with John the Baptist. My goodness. I'm just grateful that God has chosen me for such a time as this.
All right.
It took a while to get here.
Yeah.
I struggled. I ran from the Lord so long, but I'm grateful.
Okay, we're going to close it out with this song right here called Stepping Up and Stepping Out by yours truly, Freddie Howard. Y'all take care now. We'll see you next time, Sunday morning with let's go back and redo it again. With the Sunday school lesson. Here it comes, Doctor.
Okay.
We'll see you next time.
Okay, thank you.
Are you ready? Yes, chill. Are you ready? For stepping up and stepping out. Yes, chill. Are you ready? For stepping up and stepping out. Step to the left, step to the right. It doesn't matter how you step, as long as you're ready to step all night. Step to the left, step to the right. It doesn't matter how you step, as long as you're ready to step all night. Step to the left, step to the right. It doesn't matter how you step. Step as young as you are ready. Step, step all night. Clap your hands, stomp your feet, slap your chest, tap your feet. It doesn't matter, all you are looking so good to me. Boys and girls stepping left, boys and girls stepping right, boys and girls here and here, stepping and stepping, stomping and stepping, stepping all night. Step to the left, step to the right. It doesn't matter how you step, because you're gonna be stepping and stomping all night. slide your feet to the left, slide your feet to the right, step up, step back, jump up, jump back, jump to the side, jump to the left, jump right, jump left. It doesn't matter how you jump and stomp, long as you are jumping and stomping all night. Chill, jumping and stomping and stepping out. Chill, jumping, stepping left, stepping right. Chill, stepping and stomping, jumping all night. Chill, stepping here, stepping there. Long as you are stepping, you looking good to me. Step on up, step on back. It doesn't matter how you step, long as you are stepping and jumping all night. Move here, move there, stomp here, stomp your chest, stomp your feet, stepping up, stepping back, slide and slide here and there, long as you're stepping and stomping and running everywhere. Do it here, do it there, step on up, step on out, long as you're stepping and jumping all night long. Chill, stepping left, chill, stepping right, chill, stepping and jumping and stomping, clapping their hands over their head, clapping their hands behind their back. It doesn't matter whether you stomp and jump, as long as you jump and step and stomp all night. Stepping here, stepping there, it doesn't matter how you step, as long as you're stepping here and there all night. Step up, step back, step up, step back, slide to the left, slide to the right. It doesn't matter how you slide and step, as long as you slide and step all night.
All right.
see y'all next time.